Plinkets' review of episode 3 was the most disappointing review ever. Alright, so we're going to do this. Part 1. The plot is unnecessary. Nadine in the previous thing appears and goes after Plinket, and it's this whole build up, and the thing is really epic, and it's meant to make us really drool over the next review, which is going to be episode 3. Finally, he's going to review this thing and give it what it's deserving. The thing is, I'm a little bit disappointed. You see, in Star Trek, when he was reviewing the Star Trek films, at one point he gets arrested, and then he goes to jail. Or maybe that happens in the Star Wars thing. I'm not sure anymore. But at any rate, there's this unresolved plot thread where he goes to jail, and he's in the clink, and he can't do... Okay, it is in the Star Wars thing. Alright, who's messing with my medication? There's no jokes in this. Okay, part 1. What was I talking about? Oh, no, the Nadine thing is useless and pointless, and it just served to propel us to want to watch this. But in the end, it's just you're more interested in seeing what Nadine does than listening to this review because it just goes on forever. And what's more, it makes you think of the whole unresolved plot thing that happened during Star Wars Episode 2 before he reviewed that when he goes to jail, but then he's not in jail and he never talks or references that or explains what happens, and it's really frustrating. Issue 2, the review. The review doesn't make it, it's not funny. It's just not a funny review. There's not a lot of funny things going on. Like in the other reviews, there was a lot of randomness and funny things and mentions of medicine and stuff. In this review, it's just about the plot with Nadine. And that's all that he goes back to. There's no interruptions between the review. So you're just watching one long deconstruction review, which is fine, because I didn't have a problem with that in the other ones. But the problem is there isn't enough jokes. Issue 5. I don't know, what number am I on? This review it's over. In a word, over. That's what this review is. It's over. It took us forever to get this review out. And now that it's out, I guess the expectations were really, really high for this. And, well, I was kind of disappointed. The lack of humor in this review made it hard to watch. It made it less enjoyable. More humor cut with the review itself would have made the review watchable. But that's not what we get. No, we just get one long review. Kind of like how I'm doing this review. I'm reviewing his review, and I'm not doing any humor. I'm just reviewing it. That's boring. People want humor. Email me for a pizza roll. We want the stuff that we're used to. This review is different. I don't like things that are different. Part 4, the opening. The opening was the most disappointing intro that he's ever given. He said this is the worst thing since episode 2. And then he makes fun of the fact that intro isn't very good. Then why use it? Use a better intro. You could have referenced anything and it would have been better. Oh wow. And the Star Trek guy doesn't show up again. That's not cool, because that was funny. That was a funny gag. Okay, he doesn't need to do the same gags every time, but just some more references and more funny bits would have made this review funny. And as it is, it's just a deconstruction of how bad this movie is. I know how bad this movie is. I'm watching a review because it's funny, and it's not funny. So, part 10, done. In a word, done. That's what this is to me. It's done. The ending that has a bunch of question marks and is meant to make us want to watch the next Plinkett review doesn't really do it for me. Unless the next Plinkett review goes back to his original style, I'm not gonna watch this guy much longer. It's not even funny that he has an ego trip thing, and that doesn't even make sense, because how would this guy afford a theater? It doesn't make any sense. The ending doesn't make sense. And I hate, sorry, I spoiled it. I spoiled the ending. Oh dear. Spoiler alert! Okay, but in all seriousness, this is done, and it's just kind of a dead void to me, like episode 3 was. In fact, he could have made a joke at his own expense and said, "This review is almost as bad as episode 3." That would have been funny. Ha ha ha. Okay, so, and there's a pee joke. Yeah, classy. What does he become, the angry video game nerd? You know, he always makes those poop jokes. I mean, the killing jokes, that's Plinket's thing, but the pee and poop jokes, that seems more like angry video game nerd. So maybe he ran out of material. Alright. So but it's done. It's finally done. We don't have to worry about episode whatever coming out and being reviewed. It's over. And it's finally done, and Star Wars prequels have finally gotten all the hammering that they deserve. I'm just saying, my only point is that this review could have been funnier, and it wasn't. The ironic thing is that people will post and complain on my video that I'm doing a really bad Plinkett impression, that this review of a review isn't funny. That's some irony for you. Super, 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 duper, super. Email me if you want some sushi. Post a comment on this YouTube if you want sushi. Sushi, sushi, sushi. Next up is another review from WW Beauchamp, in which he's going to look at something that Confused Matthew did, or whatever, whoever Confused Matthew is.